thank you guys for joining me today. I am here with my special guest, Lea Woodford. She is the founder of Speaker Life Media. She's an expert in visibility, media, and luxury branding. So I'm really excited to have you on the show with me today, Lea. Thanks for being here.
Oh, well, thanks, Amanda. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, well, our paths have crossed a few times, but this is our first actual conversation. So
It
I'm
is.
excited to talk to you about how it started and how it's going. And so I think we're just going to jump right in, and I'm going to let you tell us, how did you get started in your career?
Well, back in Nam, I went to school for broadcasting. And I'm sitting in college and I'm listening, and they told me at 19 years old that your career in front of the camera would be over by the time you're 30. Remember, I'm 19. They were already putting an expiration date on me.
Right.
So, and it's funny, that really hasn't changed much. Take a look at Fox News. But
Yeah.
I realized very quickly, I went through it, and I got started, and I realized, boy, there is no money in local media, and fast forward, I married my first husband. Probably wasn't a good move. Found myself divorced with two little boys at 23, and that kind of money just wasn't good. So
Yeah.
while I leveraged it in the background, I got into sales, and my daycare was more than my car payment and mortgage. And
Hmm.
although I was awarded child support, I didn't get it. So, they didn't really track it back in those days. So I really focused on providing for my kids. And as they got older, then I kind of came back to media, but on my own terms.
Where did you go to college?
Arizona, that's actually why I am in the Phoenix area. I just love it out there. The weather's nice, except this time of year, which is why I'm in Colorado.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
yeah, it was just a great program, and unfortunately, there seems to be a siege on media, or at least the news. When I went to school, the news had no opinion, and I feel like the news is all opinion now, so I
Yeah.
can't even watch it anymore.
Yeah.
And so I love the visibility aspect. And when I started my side hustle, business consulting, creating marketing and building LLCs, people knew me because I was a dating and relationship columnist and TV correspondent. I got to write my own segments. So people knew me, liked me, and trusted me because they saw me in their living rooms. And
Hmm.
so I leveraged that to kind of build my marketing business way back when.
How long did you spend in local media after you finished school?
Oh, probably 15 years, I think.
Oh, wow, that's a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to go in all the time. And the one thing that I learned about the media and working in, and I've worked at all the stations, ABC, NBC, Fox, when you're an anchor, you do not own your personal brand. You don't own your
Mhm.
image, and you can't use your likeness, your name, or anything. So I quickly knew, because my side hustle was pretty lucrative, that I would not ever become an anchor. And honestly, I had so many friends that were going through PTSD from reporting the news that
Mhm.
I just wanted to stay in the lifestyle lane, and that's kind of where I still am.
Yeah. So fast forward from that 15-year stint in media, how did you get started in what you have built now? Because you've built a very successful, substantial name for yourself and career, and it goes outside of just media. You have also a legacy jet company. So that's pretty impressive and a little bit different than just media alone.
Well, the media really helped propel that, because my husband was, when he first started, he moved here from New York and China. He had not spent any time in Arizona, didn't know anybody. So my media contacts definitely helped. But he also needed to transform because he's always been a paycheck player. And when he moved back to Arizona, starting at the bottom at an airline right seat. Back then it's 50, 60,000. And he came and worked with me and it was then Smart Fem Media Group. And he was probably one of my best videographers. I mean, he really was. We did Lexus commercials. We did all kinds of stuff together. And he just missed flying. And I knew this. My dad was a pilot. I've been around pilots my whole life. I know that flying is like oxygen. So I just told him, if you want to build an air, if you want to go back into aviation, you're going to have to start your own business and I'll help you. And we did. We started with another company, Elite Flight Jets. Sadly, we had a partner and it didn't go so well. So we sued, got out of that, took the money. We had already started building the other one. And I told him, I said, I'm going to be your only partner. I'm not going through that again.
Yep.
And we're almost 4 years old. We are way more successful in these 4 years than it was 8 years with the other company,
Mhm.
because Paul really knows his stuff. Um, we made all the mistakes in the other
Yeah.
companies, so we're able to move forward. And I do the marketing for that company. I create our in-flight magazine and our marketing materials and stuff like that. So that's luxury branding. I did all our branding. Our business cards are hard stock matte black with gold foil. Everything is just very elegant because we're
Mhm.
flying one percenters,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
right. What's your
So
favorite part about what you do now?
actually, I really do love Speaker Life Media. I became a professional speaker by accident in 2007. And I was so frustrated because I couldn't find what I was looking for.
Mhm.
And that's happened to me more than once. What happens when you can't find what you're looking for? You create it. When COVID
Yeah.
hit in 2019, I built my first magazine. And little did I know it was going to create not only do I do my magazines, but I've done magazines for my husband's company, but for other speakers and a couple of nonprofits. It blew up into a side business, but I realized that it needed to be in all platform media. And that's why we've become Speaker Life Media because
Mhm.
we're more than a magazine. We've got a YouTube channel, we've got a podcast, we go on social platforms. We do all the social media, but we did hire somebody. My team has been with me 6 years, my AV team. They did an amazing job at the video, but I was so frustrated with the back end. I had no control. It was going off to the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
It looked too AI. I didn't see me in it. And so I talked to my team before my contract expired and I said, can we bring this in-house? I want more control. And they said yes. And our LinkedIn alone went up 780% when I took it
Wow.
over.
Yeah.
And we created systems and processes. And of course, some of my clients, hey, see what you're doing. Can you help us? It's just like, and I talked to my team and we're going to start helping people, but we needed to get our systems and our processes in place and they needed to be tested. And the real test came when, I just had Chris Voss, the FBI negotiator in
Uh-huh.
studio, and Lisa Guerrero the same day. And Chris was last week, Lisa's this week. And the traction we're getting is really amazing. But honestly, it came from frustration. The
Yeah.
magazine came from because I couldn't get what I wanted. And the back end of the YouTube channel and everything came because of frustration. I, f-
Mhm.
I hate this about me, but I know this about me is I'm a Capricorn and I will outwork you to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed because I have some amazing team players and they've made going to work fun again. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If
Yeah.
you're filming 10 to 12 shows a day and you've got an amazing team, it goes by so fast.
That's a
And
lot of filming in one day also. You've gotta
Yeah, but then
stay
I don't have
on
to
and
do it for
bubbly.
months.
Yeah, that's true. So you batch out a lot of your content?
I do. One long form video. I love this because it goes into my magazine. It goes on my podcast, my YouTube channel, my LinkedIn, all social media, newsletters. Everything is done from one video and you
Yeah.
batch a bunch of those and then you only have to go into studio, 4 to 5 times a year,
Yeah,
you
that
know?
makes it that's nice.
And then I'm free. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but when I was creating content every day and I'm on that content, creation hamster wheel, it was frustrating.
You get kind of worn out by it, and I feel like from my experience, I lose my creativity. It's like I'm forced to have to come up with something to say rather than just coming from my heart or what's happening in the moment. It becomes more of a have to than a want to, and to me, that's not fun at all.
Well, and being a journalist, I can't think of anything better than interviewing some of the people that I am dying to know. Chris Voss. I'll tell you what,
Yeah,
he did rattle my cage. He's an FBI negotiator. It's just like, oh, is this going to be like interrogation? Nicest guy you'd ever meet.
yeah,
Great sense of humor, so fun. And Lisa has been a friend for 10 years. She spoke at my summit. I did not know this. I gave her her first speaking opportunity and she let me know that I was her first. It's just like, God, you were so good. I didn't know.
wow, that's amazing.
So I love what I do. And I think when you build something that's really special, and, I leverage the magazine and the YouTube channel to find the people that I want to connect with. You know,
Yeah,
like um like Chris Voss, not only was he in the magazine, I had no idea he created this amazing bourbon brand, and we're going to put him on the magazine cover for Legacy Quarterly because we have a lot of bourbon drinkers. It's kind of a
yeah.
lifestyle magazine. So, but he's also speaking at my summit. Lisa Guerrero is speaking at my summit. But when you leverage something that people want, it just opens more doors and it's so much more fun than I always like to ask, "Hey, would you like to be on my podcast or in the
Mhm.
magazine?" And it's just been really fun. It's
People
just
don't
been
really
really
say no to that, do they? Not many.
um, they did initially, but not both. When
Uh-huh.
you come into the studio, and it's a gorgeous studio, we get amazing photos because I need high-res photos,
Yep.
branding photos for the magazine, and they get to keep all of those things.
Mhm.
And then the magazine goes out to 29,000 subscribers, and we have a number of those that are event planners.
Yeah, and they can pick them up as speakers or other things for their own events too.
Absolutely. We've really started to focus on event planners this year
Uh-huh.
because it's the go-to resource for speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs, and event planners. Because I have been an event planner. I plan my event every year, but I
Mhm.
know how difficult it is to find the right speaker.
Yeah. Yeah. When you have your magazine, do you print it and actually mail it out like old
I
school
do.
style, or
Mhm.
is it just digital?
It's both. It's both. That's what I was doing during COVID when, all the events were canceled. I was mailing out magazines
Mhm.
and getting stages. It's what I do to get on the stages that want. I don't send them to every conference, but to the ones that I really wanna go to, it's gonna give you an edge.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Who is your ideal person that you love to work with? So I noticed dropped a couple big names, but you don't work with only the big name people, right? You work
No,
with
no,
the
no.
regular kind of gal like me. So tell
Well,
me a little
I
bit
don't
about who
I
you
don't
work
think
with.
that you're a regular gal though,
Oh,
Amanda.
well, thanks.
I think, first of all, you're a content creator. So what I like to do is I like to create a brand formula with my clients. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm working with a lady right now. She is the number one divorce attorney in Arkansas.
Really?
And
In
she wants to get
Arkansas?
Yeah, and she wants to create a podcast and actually migrate from being a divorce attorney to being a divorce coach. And I've done
Uh-huh.
this with a lot of therapists. They want to go from therapy to coaching.
Yeah.
So I've had to create a brand formula, and it's easier to create a magazine or a podcast if we go right down to the brand. And what I find, Amanda, is most people don't know what a brand is.
No, they don't.
And
It's a term
um,
that's thrown around all the time, and it can mean different things depending on who's saying it. So, tell me your kinda your definition of the brand.
my brand definition is perception. You know, people think it's logos, color palettes and slogans. Those
Mhm.
are brand assets. And you create those once your brand is who are you? Who do you serve? What problem do you fix? Why should people work with you? And what makes you different? What's your
Mhm.
differentiator? Because I find that most people are swimming in the sea of sameness.
Absolutely.
And how do you stand out? You know, people ask me all the time, how do you talk to these amazing celebrities and you get them into your studio? It's simple. I make it about them.
Mhm.
And I make sure that my podcast is beautiful. My magazine is beautiful and it's an asset. They get all the assets. They get the magazine, they get 10 copies, hard copies. They have access to the digital, they get all the photos, but it's something that is tangible. I think we're living in an AI and digital world, and I think people still love tangibility. They still read more books than they do digital books.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I send out, handwritten notes in with my book that people purchase. So, I think it helps you stand out above the rest when you go that extra mile and not just revert to the digital only.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more on that. And I just think that I'm curious. You know, I'm
Mhm.
still a journalist, Chris Voss. Okay. Dude, you are from I think it's Iowa and you sound like you're from the Bronx. How
Yeah,
did
how
that
did he get
happen?
that how did he get that
No, when you work
attitude?
in New York and you're working with all these guys from the Bronx or
Yeah.
in Europe, you can't sound like that. And he spent 24 years with the FBI. You know, Lisa Guerrero, another, I love her story. I mean, and, you know, put up with a lot of sexual harassment doing Monday Night
Mhm.
Football. Then she went over into the news, Inside Edition, going after the bad guys. She's been hit by a car. You know,
Oh my gosh.
she's been put she's put herself in harm's way to get the story. And I'm not going to get political, but certain people are trying to shut down the media
Uh-huh.
and censor them. And CBS with Inside Edition was trying to do that. And being a journalist, um, I find that really offensive. And I loved that she just decided to leave legacy media and create her own podcast, Unleashed. How perfect is that? You know,
That is
she's
perfect.
no longer throttling her she's no longer being throttled back by corporate media, and I
Uh-huh.
love that. She's doing it on her terms. Her book, Lisa Guerrero Warrior, that was it's such an amazing book that Drew Barrymore had her on the show. She loved the book and brought her on the show. I love how real it was 10 years of actually it was probably longer than that. This book was made over 10 years based on all of her journals.
Mhm.
She lost her mom to cancer when she was a little girl. Her and I could relate to that. I was raised by a dad, single dad she was too. So, she had to learn how to be a girl, but, she's fierce
Yeah.
and she's a truth seeker and a truth teller. And those are the kind of stories I want to tell. I want to tell, I love strong women. I love men too, don't get me wrong, but, I'm just really proud of the women that really are making waves in the world. And, not only are they making waves, but they're sending the ladder back down to the upcoming women, and that's what I wanna do with Speaker Life is I wanna give the next generation a hand up
Yeah.
because I certainly didn't have it, in my world.
Yeah. Tell me about your summit. You've mentioned that a few times and you do this annually. Tell
I
me a little
do.
bit more about that event.
This is our ninth annual, and it is the Speaker Life Summit. It's going to be January 21st and 22nd in Scottsdale, Arizona. Again, this is for speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs. It's a place where they can actually really get the information that they need. I
Mhm.
don't know about you, but I'm sick of the pitch fest. I'm sick of buy my stuff. And we've made it affordable. It's 297, 397 for a VIP,
Wow,
which is
that's great.
this is my give back to speakers because I was so frustrated when
Mhm.
I started out as a speaker. And one thing I like to say, if you can't invest in yourself, how can you expect anybody else to invest in you? But I tried to keep it affordable for people so they could. And if they spend 297, they're going to get to see some great speakers, but they're going to walk away with stuff. And if
Yeah.
they're 397, they're actually going to get to meet some of the speakers and spend time with them and
And
have
even that
lunch.
price point is not it's totally worth it.
Nope, it's totally worth it. This is my give back. We don't stream it. You have to, it's
Mhm.
in-room only. I don't do 300 people anymore. I keep it down to about 150 because I
Nice.
feel like the magic is gone and we
Yeah.
don't do breakout sessions. It's 2 days, so you're not away from your family forever. It's
Right.
also Scottsdale in January.
Yeah, they're like the best time to be there.
So it's a beautiful venue. It's not a tired old dusty ballroom.
Ballroom. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much more contemporary and it's conducive to learning. And I just think that's kind of what people need right now. I think they just need I think Speaker Life has a really good reputation. We're very
Yeah.
careful about the people we promote
Mhm.
and I don't bring on predatorial speakers.
Mhm.
And I think you know what those are, the
Yeah.
pitch fest. Buy my
Yeah.
$30,000 program. And it's not that I don't mind if they sell it, they just can't sell it from my stage.
Yeah, that's not the purpose of your event. Who
No.
is the ideal person that you'd love to have in that audience? Because I also host live events, and I totally agree with you about controlling the size of the attendees. Once you go over a certain number of people in the room, you kind of lose that community aspect of a live event. And I think that's a really important piece when you are hosting in-person events is making sure that you're building that community and that allowing for that connection to happen. When you have a larger event, people kind of go into their own cliques and go off on their own, right? And you don't get to experience everything. So, who is who do you love to just invite to be in that room? Who do you want in that room?
I Again, speakers that are frustrated and wanting to get on bigger stages or, they've hit a plateau and
Mhm.
they want to get to the next level. A lot of times it comes down to a couple things. It's probably their messaging and their brand or they just haven't created the offer that's going to convert people. So
Yeah.
I like to really curate the speakers. So they're
Mhm.
not just big names, but they're a draw, yes, of course, but they're going to get real information.
Yeah, and
You know, I-
it's an intentional journey you're gonna provide
it
during the
is.
event.
And we started this last year. We're going to do this again. And, we'll be doing a live podcast right from the stage.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah, those have been some of our most watched YouTube videos. And it's kind of fun for, for the podcast guests to have the energy of the audience. So I'm super pumped about that. They'll
Yeah.
actually get to see production
Yeah.
in
I love that.
IRL.
Well, I'm gonna put the link for that event in the show notes,
Okay.
because I fully support what you're building, what you've built. And I think it's just
Well,
really
why don't you
exciting.
come as my guest?
I may just do that. I love Scottsdale
Well, you
in
love it in
January.
January. Yeah. Um, because 'cause we're always looking to partner and stage swap, but also, I'm always looking for great content for Speaker
Yeah.
Life for our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
So,
I would love that. Okay, so we talked about how it started. You were a single mom for a long time,
I
making
was.
it in local media. You transformed into this massive, amazing brand of your own that helps others build amazing, massive brands of their own. So what's next in the journey for you?
I probably only wanna do this for another 5 or 6 years. I wanna pass the torch. I wanna leave a legacy. My husband and I both do, hence legacy jets.
That's right.
Um, I wanna spend more time traveling. I married the love of my life at 52. I don't wanna work this
Wonderful.
hard forever, you
Yeah.
know? I want to travel with him. I want to spend time with the grandkiddos, and, I love what I do, but that's only one dimension. So what I wanna do is I really wanna foster some really amazing young people.
Mhm.
Because when I had Smart Fem Media Group, I mean, I got to be a fairy godmother to a lot of these kids. They went off to New York, 4 of them did, for major brands. I'm looking forward to doing that again. I know they get a bad rap, but I have not had that experience. I find
Yeah,
them to be energetic, really brilliant, and a lot of fun to work with. And you are who you hang with, so you better hang
that's
with
right.
people who are young and energetic.
That's right. I totally agree. Well, I wish you the best of success for all the things you've got going on. And I do hope you get to enjoy your spouse more and travel the world on some of your legacy jets, no less.
Me too. Actually, we're planning it right now. We're in the throes of planning it, but thank you so much, Amanda, for this opportunity.
Absolutely.
And my team will reach out to you. Love to find out more about you and maybe have you on my podcast.
Yeah, I would love that. I'm hosting an event next week in Scottsdale, but
You
you aren't
are.
there. It's too hot for you right now. It's going to be too hot for me too. But
Well,
yeah,
send me
how
the information. Send me the
I will.
information.
I
Right.
will. What's the best way? Although I'll put your links in the show notes, but what's the best way out of your mouth for people to find you online?
Just go to speakerlifemedia.com or Lea Woodford. That's Lea no H Woodford, just the way it sounds on all social. But anyway, what a pleasure, Amanda. Thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to talking again soon.
All right. Have an amazing day.